Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of TEDXcellence, the show in which we try to find out how awesome we are, because we feel so confident about ourselves all the time. And we come to you live from my Corona bunker on the moon with Dogcat Fox, a Pepperjack, and my friend from across the pond, Tailed Feature.
Feskerma.
Feskerma. Camera how and you?
Genial me donna. Camera how hein.
Hamia fuak ounds nagelach.
Shug Jerif.
See, I learned something.
Some of it stuck, yay.
Some of it stuck. Some of the most useless stuff is stuck, yes. And isn't that what all about building self-confidence is about?
Indubitably.
Indubitably. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday. Yes, wondrous Wednesday. Boy, oh boy. I have had the day so far. It's the month end, all the billing, all the work. After this, I'll have to go back to work. And by back to work, I mean log into a different machine somewhere else. But hey, it's all relative now. Thank you to Kyle, the Driving Ape Man, for the on-set chair. Appreciate it. And this is Kyle. Thank you so much. Hello, chat people, Scribe and Tailed. Yes, my friend Tailed. How are you doing, man?
Yep, I'm not too bad. Not too bad. I wish I could say I'd been working and been very busy in those the traditional sort of sense, but alas, not.
Well, in the non-traditional sense, you've been very busy, and guys, you need to go check out Tailed's channels. Links in the description, especially over on Scottish Feature, where he just posted his cover of Megadeth, and it's great. It's great. I told Dave Mustaine myself it was great.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, thank you very much.
I just need him to acknowledge that. Thank you, Mikala Driving Ape Man. Ich bin ein Berliner. You know, that was actually John F. Kennedy saying, "I am a jelly donut."
Mm-hmm. I believe so.
Yeah, a Berliner is actually the name, a sort of colloquialism of a jelly donut. I think the correct term would have been Ich bin ein auf Berlin or something like that.
Yeah, I see that Scientology, which is a great name in the chat, said, I've been marinating myself in some ushkabehe. So well done.
Well, truth be told, I do have a little bit of ushkabehe with my dar pepper.
Mm.
I say I remember that too, the important stuff.
Yes, indeed.
So, guys, I'm going to be foregoing the hellos. I apologize, but the Tail's on a schedule tonight, and we have a lot to get into today because today's subject matter is gaining self-confidence, a virtuous cycle. Now, as you may or may not know, Tailed and I are shining poster children of self-confidence.
Yes.
Yes, which is why watching this is going to be completely superfluous to our own meager senses of self.
Yes, we do it for you guys.
That's right. That's right. Now, truth be told, for all I know, this could be very educational. This is not nothing on the surface of this speaks to me as, oh, it's one of those TEDx's. You know, it's not like got any buzzwords in it or anything. But all the same, the last one I did had to do with some very interesting mental chicanery. So who knows? Maybe we'll learn something. Maybe we won't. But you'll be there to find out with us. Thank you, Mr. Tickletrunk. Don't be afraid to overlap your graphics. It's easier to see which person is talking with bigger, sexily pulsing gray circles. P.S. You help my sanity. Okay, for that last part, I apologize, if that's true. For the other part, this is the default. If I have more than one person on here and a video, this is how it ends up. I can't do anything about the size of the graphics. All I can do is do a little fancy overlay to make it look like I'm on a moon base, because I totally am.
And also there's a slight difference between our accents, so.
Is there?
It's, a little bit. I think we're distinguishable from one another just enough.
I hope to travel there someday and spend enough time there to pick up the accent. I think I'd sound cooler with it.
Well, maybe.
Oh, but my self-confidence.
I know we need to
save me, TEDx.
Before we even start it, though.
Yes,
I would like to say I've heard the term virtuous cycle before.
I
That
haven't. This is new.
that was when I was in therapy, actually.
Okay,
So,
well, what is your understanding of a virtuous cycle? Because, like I said, that's news to me.
well, the context in which I discussed it with a psychologist was that well, you get a vicious circle.
Yes.
Where you go further and further down into the mire because you get something depresses you, which then has a knock-on effect, and so you spiral downwards. You get this vicious spiral, if you like, downwards. So this is the opposite of that. The idea is that you build upon the positives in your life if you can, and that's basically the opposite of a vicious cycle, I suppose.
Oh, okay, so it's an internal psychological circle jerk.
I mean, that's maybe a slightly cynical way of looking at it, but
which I am not at all, guys.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course. Yeah, I'm trying to remember if it was during sort of doing some cognitive behavioral therapy stuff that I had. I can't quite remember.
I'm glad you said the phrase in full. Otherwise, we'd be talking about we've been down that road before together.
I don't think you and I have been down that road, at least not together.
No, not that road. No, not the CBT road. No, not you and I. No.
But yeah, anyway, who knows? Who knows what the future may hold?
Yeah, there's still years left in my life. It's true. And if you guys at home have no idea what we're talking about, it's probably for the better. All right. So then, per usual, I will start off with a few seconds to test the sound. You guys tell me if you can hear it. I think I have it set up correctly. Of course, if Tails can hear it, I think you guys can hear it. But either way. And this runs 14 minutes, and so we will get going right now.
Hello, Glasgow.
Is that an appropriate accent for Glasgow?
Hello, Glasgow.
I had visions of Sean Connery there for a moment.
Well, I thought he might just go, all right.
Now, was Connery Glaswegian or was he Welsh?
He's from Edinburgh.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what any of
Edinburgh, not Glasgow.
I don't know Wales. Anything that I just said, I have no idea what it means. I was trying to sound smart. My self-confidence. Sort of Stanley says there's nothing wrong with some cognitive behavioral therapy. You're right. There's nothing wrong with some CBT in your free time. True. Gino Marino says sounds good. Big Assassin says sounds good. And Roger Reynolds just says hi all. All right.
Hello.
All right. So the confidence formula, Glasgow. Miss Moneypenny. Come on, you can start now.
Hello, you people up in the posh seats as well. I can't see you, but I'm sure you're there. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
So, for over 20 years at Kissing with Confidence, we have spoken to tens of thousands of people in all sectors, including the university sector, at all levels. And
did he say kissing with confidence?
He did say kissing with confidence.
Kissing with confidence. Okay, is this a makeout session? Or do you know what that is?
No, unless he's talking about a Glasgow kiss.
What's Glasgow kiss? No.
Punch to the face.
Or
a headbutt to the face.
All right. Well, at least it's not a Colombian necktie.
On their leadership skills, on their influence and persuasion skills, on their management skills, on their selling skills. 20 years, tens of thousands of people. And at the beginning of many of these programs, we asked them, well, what do you think is important? What kind of skills or traits or abilities are important if you want to be an effective operator, even in your personal life, your social life, and your business life?
Weird auto effect going on there.
Yeah, the sound was a little wonky, and I did try to tweak it a bit as I usually do for these, but some things you just can't help. It's a weird little echo, but okay. What skills are important to become an operator in your life? I'm assuming he's not meaning someone who manages phone lines. So
that'd be pretty dated if he did mean that.
Well, he does look quite old.
Watch people.
Is he going to say something like self-confidence?
Oh,
is that a skill? I suppose it is a skill.
I think developing it is a skill.
Yeah, that's probably true. All right.
What makes you good from the cocktail bar to the boardroom?
A healthy alcoholism. The cocktail bar to the boardroom. Personal skills, I don't know. I'm assuming it's just leading to self-confidence. I mean,
nepotism.
Nepotism. Yeah. A good lawyer.
Good
I mean, it depends on what you do at that cocktail bar.
And there are lots and lots of...
Or who you do.
Or who you attempt to do. Me too, everybody. Hashtag me too.
And abilities that come up in respect of that. But by far the biggest word in the word cloud.
Word clouds, my God.
Words, boy, now that I'm familiar with. I worked for a company for a brief time that did those kind of meetings. Like, let's brainstorm. We're gonna have a word cloud, and I was like, it was the first like a word cloud. So like brainstorm, and like let's put all these words. What do you think of when I say blah? What do you think of? Like, oh my God! And I felt like this is so silly.
Yes, this is quite infantile.
I mean, again, context matters. There may be circumstances where it does help, like if you're in advertising or maybe you're trying to come up with a slogan or something. I mean, I could see how it might be useful, but for personal psychology, not quite sure.
Would be confidence.
Oh, shocking! I'm shocked. The word is confidence. When you had like the big thing of confidence on your first slide,
it's almost like it was preempted,
preordained. Virtual Grand Scribe, if you have the ability to EQ the video. I equalized the audio separately before. So just real quick behind the scenes, when I find these things, more often than not, they have music on either end that is probably copyrighted. So I put them into my video program. I extract the audio. I reprocess it, equalize it, compress it a bit, take out the extraneous noise if I can. And if it is in mono, which has happened a couple of times, I'll duplicate the track and then turn it into stereo. Then I'll re-render the whole video together with the new audio, taking off the front and back ends of it for the music part of it. And so this is as good as I can do being a one-man shop. And if that's not good enough, I don't know what to tell you. If you don't think it's good enough, well, I need to watch the video to learn how to build myself back up again.
Would be confidence.
Sure,
it's good if you're a bit charming and charismatic. It's fantastic if you're empathetic and you've got a bit of rapport going with people.
But if you happen to be a psychopath, it's okay. Or if you're smelly and yucky, as long as you got confidence, that'll compensate for it.
Apparently, if you're ugly as well.
Yeah, that's the ugly part. Yeah, I got a TED talk I'll be doing in the near future that the speaker has no problems in that regard, but he's tired of being so masculine. That'll be fun.
Of course he is, yeah.
Brilliant curiosity come up in the introduction. It's great if you're curious. It's fantastic if you make an impact. All of these things are important. But every single group puts confidence right up at the top.
Okay.
So by far, as I say, self-confidence would be the biggest word in the word cloud.
You didn't put self there. That's actually a different word. That's my English major talking. Never mind.
So here's what we're going to do in the next 15 minutes or so.
Okay.
We're going to together develop the formula for self-confidence.
Thank God.
Self-confidence is important.
Yeah.
It's an emotional intelligence skill.
Now,
working with emotional intelligence skills can be a little bit like nailing jelly to the wall.
A Jello mold.
That's not what he said.
I know. He said jelly.
Yeah, he also said nailing jelly to the wall.
Yeah. I don't know that I'm that desperate for love.
My mind didn't even go there.
Well, this is the same guy who went from cognitive behavioral therapy to, so what am I going to do? Are Jello molds a thing? Like over? Like, they have some special meaning over in Scotland?
He didn't mention mold, to what I heard.
Well, that's what I see. That's what I think of when I see something like, because that's what you call it when you take Jello and put it into a shape, Jello mold.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe when you're like 5 or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Different foods have different meanings in different places, so I didn't know if there was something significant to that at all.
I think it's just quite a difficult thing to do, because obviously the jelly doesn't hold in a shape when you sort of lift it up and try to batter a nail through it. It's a difficult thing.
That part I got. I was just, never mind. I'm thinking too hard about this.
In other words, if you're going to pass an exam, if you're going to do a good spreadsheet, if you're going to do things like that, it's really important you understand where you're going with that spreadsheet. But you know where you're right and you know where you're wrong. Self-confidence, not so much. Wouldn't it be fantastic if there was a formula?
Uh-huh.
Well, that's what we're going to do.
Is it called alcohol?
Probably.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Tickle Trunk. I bet his books are called Kissin' with Confidence, Composed Copulation, and Shaggin' with a Can-Do Attitude.
Shagging with a can-do attitude.
I like that one. That one I like.
And here's how you do it.
Okay.
I want you to talk to the person next to you. We're going to define self-confidence. That's what we're going to do right now. We're going to define what self-confidence is.
Okay.
So talk to the person next to you. Get into groups of 3, maybe groups of 4. And I want you to come up with your personal definition of what self-confidence is as a life skill. Make as much noise as you like. Talk to the person next to you. Your personal definition of what self-confidence is. Go on, you get 30 seconds to do it. Make as much noise as you like. Go for it.
But your personal definition doesn't matter when there's an actual definition.
Right. Mr. Tickle Trunk, sadly, his assertive fiddlin' didn't sell well. Assertive fiddlin'. Okay, I'll turn to the person next to me. Hi, Tailed.
Hi, Scribe.
He might have better said, what does your image of self-confidence look like?
Yeah, rather than come up with your own definition, because
your own definition.
You've probably got a room full of postmodernists. So that's dangerous. Yeah,
it is, isn't it? So actually, I do have. I was asked this actually in a therapy session one time, and she asked me like, "What is your? Give me an image of you as your ideal self." Right.
And then you went into your wallet and you picked out a photoshopped version of you with the body of Adonis or something. Or is that too literal?
I don't carry that around with me anymore.
Not since that moment.
Yeah, but
don't ever show that to anybody ever again.
Yeah, don't do it. He's like, what the hell is wrong with you? I don't know. That's why I'm here. So in my head, this is the image, and this is years and years ago, right? And this is cheesy as hell. And she said, "What's the first image that comes to mind?" And I said, "I guess I picture myself like it's a beautiful sunny day, right? And puffy clouds, blue skies, and I'm standing on like a sloping green hill, and I'm just kind of looking off at the horizon, with like, not like a big grin on my face, but just sort of like confident look on my face." And the specific detail that for whatever reason came to my mind was like, I've got my thumbs hooked into my pockets of my jeans, like an old Western or something. And she's like, that's very interesting. Like, why did you put your hands down there? And I'm like, what? Is
that what you said?
Yeah. Like, why specifically your hands? And that, like, and I can't remember what happened after that. It was just a bizarre, like, I don't like. There's something about just kind of having your. I don't know. There's something about like it expresses confidence to me for some reason, like having your thumbs hooked in your pockets.
Not in your belt loop. That's what I do.
Oh, is the belt loop? No, I just have like the front pockets of my jeans is where I gotta do that. So that's what I had in mind. Anyway, that was my image of what self-confidence for me would look like. Just sort of like I'm by myself, and I don't need anybody sort of supporting me. Right. I'm just independent and, self-initiating. That's kind of my image for myself, which I think is not a too far off the mark general definition of self-confidence.
I mean, I think part of being serious for a minute, I think part of your self-confidence is kind of liking yourself, or at least being able to tolerate yourself.
Yeah. coming to terms with your pluses and your minuses, and also looking at your minuses and seeing, are those things that I can change or make better for myself.
Yeah.
I mean, it is really about sort of embracing the wholeness of you and accepting, this is just who you are, and also acknowledging that there's a better you that you want to work towards overall. Yeah.
And this has been Scribe's therapy session.
Yes, exactly. Well, like I said, this thing might be actually beneficial in the long run. Not your usual TEDx, but we'll find out. Okay, so we're back to putting metal through jelly.
What is self-confidence? What is it?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so back to me, ladies and gents, for a second.
Thankfully, TEDx did that edit. I did not. So all
right. Well, he obviously does this for a living, I would say.
Yeah.
When you had there was a bit of a mini kind of scandal with the UK Parliament paying, I can't remember how much it was, something like $7,000 for a session of putting 10 civil servants or something through what do you call it, the unconscious bias training and all that sort of stuff. I'm not saying that that's what this guy is, because who knows, we haven't got far enough in yet, and he hasn't mentioned anything like that. But I could imagine this is the kind of thing that he does for kind of groups, and he will get paid an inordinate amount of money just to do this kind of thing.
Well, yeah, between Ibram X. Kendi getting like $20,000 for a 45-minute speech, or Seattle apparently put on the payroll a former pimp who trafficked children, $150,000 as a community outreach supervisor or something.
Ouch! Yeah.
Yeah.
Scientology asks, does the TEDx guy's audio clip from anyone else? Yeah, it's clipping because he's Scottish and he's just yelling.
Yeah. So again, guys, I did the best I could to clean up the audio, but there's the acoustics of the room and his accent combined are that's just the way it is. So.
Well, yeah, and the fact that he's yelling into a tiny little microphone, it's not gonna.
That doesn't help either. Yeah.
No.
Hopefully, he'll calm down here in a minute and it'll get better.
I doubt it. He's full of vim and vigor. You just know that he's going to be like this all the time.
Oh boy, you Scots.
Been this for about 20 years, as I say. So here are the kinds of things that you are saying. So let me give you some things that self-confidence is not. Self-confidence is not being fearless and thinking you can do anything.
I mean, everything in moderation, but.
I mean, that's not specifically what it means, but if you are fearless and can do anything you put your mind to, you're going to be self-confident.
Yeah, if you believe that you have the ability to do anything you put your mind to. Now, if you are delusional about it and like, I'm going to fly off of that bridge, like, okay, that's a different issue. But okay.
Yeah. Then that's back to being a therapy session. But yeah, and you going, oh, you Scots, with him being full of vim and vigor. Usually we're dour bastards and we don't usually. This guy's way too positive for a Scotsman.
Which means he's a professional.
Well, he's not a professional Scotsman.
Oh, ouch.
Unlike me.
That's to say, yeah, like me. Have you seen my avatar?
Tequila slammers at 10:30 on a Friday night. Yeah.
So wait, do Scots drink tequila?
I've done tequila slammers.
Okay, all right. I don't know.
Self-confidence, that's bravado, and bravado is very dangerous. Self-confidence is hard won. So it's not be fearless, believing you can do anything. But actually, a little bit of fearlessness is good. When you're doing a TED Talk, for example, just that little bit of fearlessness, of course I can do it, yeah?
You're not on a TED Talk, dude. You're on a TEDx Talk, sorry. That's like...
Yeah, you've just shattered his self-confidence.
I know, from a distance psychically and everything else. Yeah, okay.
But it's not what self-confidence is. Here's hopefully what you were speaking about.
Okay, they are elements that can be a part of self-confidence. Depends on what you mean. And again, to what degree. Yes. Like a certain amount of fear. I mean, confidence is synonymous with a certain level of fearlessness. Not like I say, not delusional fearlessness necessarily, but like, I'm going to go take that risk. I mean, it's not necessarily, and even then, you're not necessarily without fear, but you at least are not so overcome with fear that you're not willing to take the risk. So, anyway, I could go on.
The simplest definition of self-confidence, ladies and gents.
Yes.
Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Have self-belief. It's as simple and as complicated as that. Self-confidence means believing in yourself.
Okay, well, thanks for the talk. Bye.
That's a bit lame.
I know. I mean, well, that's the formula, apparently. That's just to believe in yourself. Oh, okay. I believe in myself. I believe in myself to be an utter failure. What do I do now, Professor?
You just believe in yourself.
Oh, okay. Like do I have to become my own religion?
Well, I mean, I'm fairly sure I exist, so.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's true.
I mean, I believe in myself.
Yeah, you believe in your own corporeal reality, I guess.
Yes.
Of course, you're the only one who knows for sure. Because I mean, I might just be a figment of your imagination.
Well, I like to think I'd be able to imagine something a bit better. Sorry.
Okay, I see how it is. All right, you heard it here first, chat. If Tail could imagine a friend, I would not be it. That's great.
Having self-belief.
I feel really bad now.
There's another.
Don't worry, I believe in you.
But you wish you didn't.
I probably like this one a little bit better. Be comfortable in your own skin.
Okay.
Be comfortable with who you are.
Sure.
Now, let's just stop that one there. That's essentially what self-confidence is.
No, wait. You just said believe in yourself. Why does it now be comfortable in your own? Those are two different things.
And also, these are just...
platitudes.
Yeah, I was going to say adages, but yes, platitudes.
Yeah, a Hallmark card fodder. But okay. I mean, I really do hope he gets paid for this and well, because man, if he can even get paid well for doing this, there's hope for me yet. Maybe.
Yeah, I could do this. I could bullshit for a living.
Oh man, it's great if you can. Nice work if you can find it.
Self-confidence means believing in yourself and being comfortable in your own skin. So how do we work in a formula for that?
I don't know.
Well, it's just summarizing it. Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken.
Wow, who's this Oscar Wilde guy? Maybe I should be listening to him.
This is lame.
It's definitely not impressing.
Oscar Wilde. I love that quote.
Do you? Because it saves you a lot of work and actually having to write your own material. Oh, whoops. Sorry. I'm attacking his self-confidence now.
But here's my rider on it, ladies and gents. Here's my rider on it.
Oh.
Be the best version of yourself and be a better version of yourself tomorrow than you were today. That's what self-confidence is.
You've given us 3 definitions now for self-confidence. Believing in yourself, being comfortable in your own skin, being a better person tomorrow than you were today. Which is it?
I don't know, but I've just got to say, Fesker ma avahar.
Prospero. Hello. Let's go to the bingo card real quick, guys. By the way, bingo card link is in the description. I'm circling free space because why not? This might be a very light one on the bingo card, guys, because I have a feeling it's not going to go into the usual territory, but we'll see. Make something about race, sex, etc. for no reason? No. Marginalize marginalization? No. Mind reading assumes motives. Nothing concrete yet, but in the aggregate, we might get there. Plays victim? Oh, he doesn't think he's a victim, not yet anyway. Equity? No. Word salad? Definitely. He's talking a bunch of gobbledygook right now. Self-vilification or wretchedness? Oh no, he'd be doing himself a disservice then. Attempt to coin new buzzword, buzz phrase. Well, he keeps redefining self-confidence, so I'm inclined to circle that one, even though it's not a specific buzzword or buzz phrase. And he didn't come up with any of this stuff. He's just regurgitating other people's ideas, so doesn't make it new. I'll sit on that one for a minute. Feminism, no. Childhood or family anecdote? I don't think he's mentioned himself yet in any real way.
Not really, no.
Yeah,
just that he's done lots of these before, that's all.
Right. Benevolent condescension. I mean, I feel talked down too, but I'll wait and see if something else comes up.
Yeah, a little bit.
Systemic institutional, no. Patriarchy, no. Contradicts own point or argument. He hasn't really made one yet, not really. Toxic, no. Privilege, no. Weightless example, he needs to give us some first. Leaves out vital context. I got a feeling we'll get there. Microaggression, unconscious bias. We might be able to get to something in the abstract there. Takes credit for something done, experienced by others in their demographic. I mean, sitting on an Oscar Wilde quote, I'd almost want to circle it for that one, but I'll wait. White supremacy, no. Wage gap, no. A list. If we're going to get to a formula, I assume a list is coming. An anecdote that probably never happened. He hasn't given us any yet that I know of. So, okay. So right now we have free space and word salad circled. And if word salad doesn't actually apply yet, I'm pretty sure by the end of this it will. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's saying a lot, but not saying anything really.
Yeah.
Self-confidence is not easily won. Self-confidence does not come easy. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to, self-confidence is self-belief. Let's look at how you get self-confidence. I want you to go into the same groups for a minute. I want you to think of...
Well, why do I have to do all the work? You're doing the presentation. What, am I getting paid for my time? You're farming out all the thinking power to me?
To be fair, he probably does this to people while they're on their job. So technically, you usually would be getting paid.
I guess technically.
Something that you are good at. I want you to think of something that you do better than anyone else in this room.
I know what it's going to be.
What?
It's going to be being yourself.
Oh!
Everyone else is already taken.
Oh! Okay. All right. Well, setting aside that obvious snarky answer, here let's play this game. Let's play this game. Let's do this to each other after a fashion. What do I think Tailed is better at than everybody else in the room? Okay. So obviously speaking Scotch Gaelic, because hell, I can't do it that well. And heavy metal music is I gotta say, and then being completely serious for a minute, because all the other times I've talked to you, I haven't been, obviously. I am always just like bowled over by people who have musical inclinations and talents. It's like in college, I remember there'd be chemistry majors who would be freaking out over having to write a 5-page paper, right? And I'd be sitting there as the English major going like, and your problem is what? That kind of thing, where like somebody has a skill that is just so far beyond your comprehension for some reason. And dude, you are far more talented than you get credit for. And I told Dave Mustaine this, and it's going to come through at some point. It's going to come through somewhat. And seriously, guys, if you like music or heavy metal or anything else, go check out Tailed's channel. He's done a couple of things now. That medley you did of the Black Sabbath stuff, so good. That's on Scottish Feature, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So, guys, if you like Black Sabbath or heavy metal, go check out Scottish Feature. The link's in the description. Check out Tailed stuff and share it for sure, because we need to have, at least, especially his most recent one, Dave Mustaine needs to hear that. If only to like say, cool. If he just retweets out cool with that link.
Oh man, I would, that's it. I'd be like, right, I can die happy now.
I know, right? Is this what I'm talking about? Okay, so now do me.
Well, you know what? The main thing that I'm always impressed with by you, Scribe, is your ability to go through all this kind of stuff in such an analytical, humorous, but serious at the same time kind of way, and make it so that it's still interesting and entertaining to watch. Because I mean, I don't really make response videos and stuff anymore, because I just found I ran out of things to say and ways to say it. And the fact that you're able to do these streams and do Lords of the Night and still come up with, admittedly, sometimes cringy puns on the titles of all the videos and everything. I mean, you're saying, you've got music ability, but I don't have the creative ability to do the kind of wordplay and stuff that you do. And that's something that I'm always like, oh man, I wish I could have thought that. That would have really been pretty good. So yeah, that's the thing that sort of impresses me most about the stuff that you do.
Oh, thank you. As far as like wading through this stuff, at this point, I've kind of like looked at it as the inverse. It's not so much like, do I have anything new to say? I'm curious to know, what is this person's take on it? And I've told this story many, many times. There's a debate or a meeting out there somewhere on the inner tubes with Christopher Hitchens and Sam Harris and a couple other of religious figures that they were debating. And someone asked Hitchens something to the effect of, why do you keep going out and debating religious figures? Because at the time he was promoting his book, God's Not Great. And he said, well, I think people who follow me and Sam would probably be very bored with the things that Sam and I say, because they're all very static. We don't have really anything new to say about our objections to this, that, and the other. But when it comes to religious people, you never know what they're going to say next. So when it comes to people who are doing presentations like this, or trying to pitch me an idea or put their own whatever on a concept, I'm more curious to know, is this going to be the one that finally sells me on this idea? Or is this person going to be able to convince me of something or teach me something that I didn't already know? And that's kind of what pushes me forward to do it. And also because I'm locked in my apartment, I got nowhere else to go, and God, I'm sad.
That helps.
That helps too. Yeah, the whole TEDXcellence series is born out of not being able to go anywhere or do anything because of the pandemic. So you can thank that for all this. Anyway, that was healthy. That was fun. Let's see what our speaker has to say about what.
You're wrong.
You're all wrong.
There are 176 people in this room. I make better frittata than every single one of you.
What is frittata?
I have no idea.
Okay, then he must be correct.
I don't get now. Those of you who are from mainland Europe will know what a frittata or a Spanish omelette is. Those of you who are from the UK, it's an omelette. It's a set omelette. I don't care how good you are at making omelette. I'm better.
Okay.
You give me 6 eggs, a bit of broccoli, some cheese, maybe a little bit of herbs, maybe an onion and a potato, and I will make you a frittata you will eat all weekend, and you will want to have another one the next week. If you put Friday frittata into Instagram, you will get 77 of my frittata recipes. So there you go.
77. I mean, I guess if you just like, in this one I put in broccoli, in this one I put in bacon, and change it up.
Yeah, I mean, to me, an omelet is just egg, cheese, and ham. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what my mom and my dad used to make. Just like these really quick, like sort of like super scrambled eggs kind of things, except they'd fold it over, and there you go, you're done.
Well, I'm glad that you didn't say the word in as slovenly an accent as I tend to do when I'm speaking day to day. This is my phone voice I've got on at the moment, but yeah, I'd probably say frittata.
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 Because you've got that glottal stop in there, so you get
Yeah.
frittata.
And he's trying to sound all fancy, but not just saying a Spanish omelet.
Yeah, he's obviously a Europhile.
Is that hubris?
I don't know. Does hubris go in an omelet?
In our speaker's case, I imagine it would.
Probably, yeah. I've got 77 recipes of hubris frittatas.
Hubris frittatas. That sounds like a great little stand, like sitting out near the ocean shore. Hubris frittatas. Come here for breakfast for your hubris frittata.
I don't care how confident you are at making an omelette. Mine are right up there. So here's what I want you to do.
Is that self-confidence or is that arrogance, by the way?
Yeah.
This was always my struggle growing up, is that I'd see kids and I'd encounter other kids who were older than me or just cooler than I was, and I'd be envious, but then I'd see how they treat other people or themselves. And sometimes it's very difficult to distinguish between self-confidence and arrogance. As I've watched many a female in my life have to discover on their own, depending on who they decide to date. And that was always like the red flag in my mind. And that's what's always sort of intrinsically held me back from giving myself a lot of credit, is because I fear descending into arrogance. I've seen that in the bullies that made me feel lousy when I was a kid. I see that. I see the potential in myself from time to time for going down that road and not really realizing it. And so I've got all these psychological like hooks that'll just yank me back from the edge of maybe it's arrogance, maybe it's self-confidence. Part of me doesn't want to take the risk in going forward on the chance that I might become the jerk, you know?
Yeah, and a lot of arrogant people, and especially the bullies, they're usually overcompensating for something because actually they lack self-esteem.
Right. Yeah. And again, trying to distinguish that as an outsider and observer is sometimes really hard to tell. You got to get kind of know the person. So I don't know. Is our speaker self-confident or is he arrogant?
He is a bit of a prick, regardless.
Let's see where he goes.
Think of something you are good at. Think of something you do better than the average bear. Running, jumping, acting, spreadsheets, cooking, whatever it is.
He loves his spreadsheets. That's like
spreadsheets and omelets. That's his. That's maybe his actual omelet stand name.
Well, how does he keep track of his 77 recipes without a spreadsheet?
Exactly. Yeah. You need to tally up how many people are having each one.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah.
Get drinking. Yeah.
Yeah, drinking. Alcoholism. I'm better than everybody else in the room. Oh.
Yeah, a room full of Scottish people. Okay, how are you gonna be? Well, that's the thing. They'll be like, right, I'll fucking show you, mate, and they'll go straight to the pub after that, and they'll just
No, the Scottish person in that room who's the best at drinking is dead on the floor. Like their liver is pickling.
Last.
Exactly.
Have a little chat. Have a little chat. How did you get good at it? Come on, you've got 60 seconds. If you're on your own, go speak to somebody. Come on, 60 seconds. Tell the group what you're good at. Go for it. Really go for it. What are you good at?
Why? Dude, do your own work.
And fucking calm down.
Yeah, jeez. Get off.
Cock him in.
Get off the crack. Whatever you're doing.
What are you good at? Okay, so back to me, ladies and gents. Now.
Okay, and that tearing is the recording, guys. It's just the way it is.
Here's where we are.
It loudly.
It's very loud because nobody can already hear him with his voice over the intercom.
The kind of things you're saying.
Yes.
Well, I practiced. I like doing it. I've done it a lot. Malcolm Gladwell will talk about 10,000 hours of practice. I failed a little bit. Yeah, I failed a little bit. All that kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff that you get. So here's the straightforward thing about self-confidence, ladies and gents. Collect skills.
Like Pokemon? I feel like I'm back at one of those corporate meetings. It really is like I'm being talked down to every 3 seconds. It's like, duh, really? I gotta do thing? They'll be happier. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's like people just do these things because they know they have to, like these kinds of HR meetings. And
yeah, exactly.
Today we've got a guy coming in to tell you how to be self-confident. No one cares.
Yeah. If you want to become more self-confident at anything, you collect the skills associated with that thing. I don't care how confident you are as a person. If I had a...
What, you don't? But you don't care how confident I am? Is that the point of your entire career? To care about how confident I am as a person?
Yeah, you want people to be not self-confident so you can fleece more cash out of people.
So you're looking at self-confidence towards a thing, not self-confidence as a person? I thought it was believe in myself, not believe in myself as underwater basket weaver.
I don't know. Let's see what he has to say.
Clarinet up here. Yeah, you'd make a real fool of yourself if you thought, I can probably play that.
Okay, I missed it because I cut him off and back up a couple seconds.
A clarinet up here.
What?
A clarinet. He's basically saying if I got you up to play a clarinet up here.
Clarinet. I was like, I can't sift through his accent on that.
Clarinet,
like the clarinet. I
associated with that thing. Yeah. I don't care how confident you are as a person. If I had a clarinet up here, yeah, you'd make a real fool of yourself if you thought, I can probably play that.
Well, I'd still give it a shot.
G major scale on it.
Well, okay. Well, wait a second. If I had the self-confidence, at least give it a try. Would you fault me for it, even if I did badly? Wouldn't that actually say more about my self-confidence if I was willing to stand up on the stage and make a fool out of myself just for the sake of trying something new?
I don't think that's what you're saying, to be fair.
Okay. Thank you, Saxon Ross. Arrogance is predicting positive outcomes for yourself without evidence. Self-confidence is not being surprised by the evidence without proclamation.
Ooh, a sensible answer.
Wow, la-dee-da, we got over here. I mean, should you be doing TEDx talks, maybe? I mean, there's an X in your name. And that's a Scottish last name, so you could probably handle it.
Saxon, though.
Oh, that is the do you have internal struggles, by the way? I mean, is your like an internal battle constantly with yourself?
I think you're talking to him, not me.
Why do you feel that way?
No reason.
I'm not a psychiatrist on a couch. Thank you, Mr. Tickle Trunk. I'm confident that I don't know how to play that clarinet.
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 Clarinet. Aye.
Clarinet.
You wouldn't even be able to put it together if you didn't know.
I fucking would.
So it's
music stuff. You taught.
Yeah, and also even if you couldn't play it, it's not that difficult to put together. There is only one way. They're in 3 parts. You've sort of or is it 4? There is and it gets the tube gets wider as you get closer to the bottom. So there is only one way it can possibly go together.
Now installing the reed might be a trick or two.
Again, not really, because it just kind of clips on.
Okay, I was just. What little I know about musical instruments, that's all I know is the reed.
Well, here's a little anecdote then.
Oh,
to do with when I was at university.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to impress a girl who played clarinet to professional standard.
Ooh.
So I was at her house, and there was plenty puns going on about blowing and such like. Just to get that out of the way.
I was about to say, well, at least you already know she has some mouth work down.
Oh yes, it was like, oh, could you show me your embouchure and stuff? It was great, right? It was amazing. Yeah. Trust me. But anyway, then she basically gave me a bit of an ultimatum, and that was we'll do some stuff together if you can get a note out of the clarinet.
Ooh.
So she handed me the clarinet, which I'd never played one before. So she kind of told me what it was that I was to do, and then so I was all in position and such. And she just went, you just blow and you'll get a note out of it. But what she didn't tell me was that she'd put in the thickest reed possible.
Oh. Which
is for obviously advanced players. Like you start off with a very thin one,
right?
And you work your way up. So yeah, I did manage to make the note, and then she went and she sort of looked at me and went, "Okay, now put your finger here and and blow again." So I ended up playing a full G major scale, and then and I was completely like red in the face, like from exertion, trying to get this fucking thing to play. And then I put it down, and she just went, "You shouldn't have been able to do that."
Oh, challenge met.
Yeah, so I think that was her basically trying to get out of doing stuff with me, but oh well.
And then #me too.
Well, no, not really.
That's musical foreplay. I like it.
Yeah. There was something a couple of years later or something. I remember speaking to her, and she was a strange lass, bit of a strange lass. But she started telling me all about her boyfriend of the time, which was let's say a couple of years later, might even been like 4 years later or something, and all the kind of weird kinky shit that they got up to.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, man, we never did anything like that. And she just went, yeah. So she's like, I can't really even remember what it was that we did. It must have been really boring. And I was like,
oh, damn.
yeah. I was like, oh, man.
This wasn't the Gauki girl, was it?
No, it wasn't. It
okay.
wasn't Gauki girl. No.
Gauki. Goldthrottle. All right. I'd at least get one of those out with you here, or else I was going to probably get some shit for it.
Yeah. Oh, well, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's enough of the clarinet.
Yeah. I wonder if I'll bring up any other instruments you have any anecdotes about.
Forward. If you want to become more self-confident at anything, you collect the skills associated with that thing.
Thanks, Professor.
Take public speaking, the thing we fear most out of everything. Students at Harvard University were polled. They were asked their biggest fear. Public speaking comes up number 1. Number 2 is walking into a room full of strangers.
Really? Not like death? Or like my biggest fear is paralysis.
Yeah, but is it like an everyday fear, like a crippling fear?
A crippling fear, you ask?
No offense, Monkey, who's in the chat.
Well, I mean, given the way people drive around here, yeah, it's an everyday fear. Okay. So
maybe when you're a student, you don't sort of think, I'm going to die, because actually when you're a student, you're actually the opposite. You're like, I'm invincible.
I'm invincible. And then you click a pen and then you explode because it's GoldenEye.
Yeah.
And you're Alan Cumming.
Yeah. You get, what was it? Liquid nitrogen or whatever it was.
Right. Is that what happened to him? Yeah, that's what happened to him. He froze.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Alan Cumming. Such a horrible last name.
Scottish.
Good actor. And Scottish as well. Yeah, good actor, though. You ever see Titus Andronicus or just Titus with Anthony Hopkins?
I have not.
Oh, dude. It's amazing. I mean, it's directed by, what's her name? I forget her first name. Tamber, the lady who did the Lion King stage play thing. Anyway, visually and just as a presentation of Shakespeare, it is amazing. Alan Cumming's really good in it. Anthony Hopkins is great in it. It's a bit of a sit because it's Shakespeare, but it's a great flick. Anyway, that's a complete side tangent. Just came to mind because I haven't seen that movie in years.
That's even more of a tangent than the clarinet story.
I know, but hey, why not? I mean, I'm not learning anything from this guy.
And having to introduce yourself.
Yeah.
That's big fear number 2.
Oh, okay.
Interestingly, big fear number 3 is snakes.
Are they all Indiana Jones? Oh. I hate snakes, Jock.
And death is only number 6.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So think about it. If you talk about public speaking, the thing that I do for a living, if you talk about networking, walking into that room full of strangers, we have lots of irrational fears. You collect the skills associated with that thing and you become more self-confident.
How do I collect the skills necessary to defeat snakes?
You kill the king of the snakes and gain his power.
Who's the king? Who's the king of the snakes?
Joe Biden? I don't know.
Okay, I thought we were about to start building some world building lore here, but okay, Joe Biden.
It's been more interesting than this.
If you have any other way of becoming more self-confident than that, I would love you to tell me what it is. It's hard won. It takes practice. So if you want to become more self-confident, you collect the skills associated with that thing.
Why do I imagine this guy goes home every night and like cries himself to sleep?
Do you think this is like the bully thing where he's overcompensating for actually his crushing anxiety that he's got?
I like to think that this is his own CBT. This is his ability. This is his attempt to try to overcome his own fears by going up on a stage in public speaking. But actually, in private, he's probably struggling, which makes me kind of feel sad for him in a way.
Like they were just imposing lore on him.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's there was because I'm a movie nut. There was this movie called Wonder Boys long ago, which Michael Douglas and a bunch of other people in it, and it was a story about like a bunch of like writers who were all friends and sort of like also competitors and things. They were just like writing books and things. And they would get together from time to time and sit in a bar and they'd just look at random people in the bar and just sit there and make up the story of who that person is based on what they could see. And they'd build this entire reality about this character, this person, into a character. And it was just this interesting mental exercise that was kind of entertaining to watch. And so anyway, that just reminds me of that, because I'm looking at this guy, I'm thinking, what kind, I mean, this entire endeavor of his has to be, and I'm thinking, this has to be some kind of extension of his own insecurities and his attempt to overcome them.
It's like, I'll pass on these things I've learned about self-confidence so that other people aren't like me.
Well, yeah, that, or he's trying to prove to himself that he's got a handle on things over other people. Like, who's the best in here at something that nobody else is, right? And now let me tell you what I'm best at. You know, sort of like he's almost like building himself up and using
like Gordon Ramsay or somebody was in the audience. I'm the best at making omelets.
He stands up and he says, "You fucking donkey."
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
But that's the easy bubble.
Oh.
There's a third bubble. There's another bubble to complete the confidence formula.
Oh my God.
Now, I want to see if you can get it before I put it up there.
Self-confidence, skills. What would be the third bubble? Practice?
Well, he did mention practice already. So I think if he says practice, then that's a bit cheating because he's already said it.
Okay. Well, then if not practice, then
that is about the only thing that I could think of. Because you do. Yeah, if you want to get better at something, you have to practice at it.
Yeah, I mean, so you have self-confidence enough to gather the skills necessary to do a thing, and then you have to practice that thing in order to get better at it. And through that practice, you gain self-confidence, and that becomes your virtuous cycle, right? That's what occurs to me. Thank you, Saxon Ross. I guide others to a treasure I cannot possess. Self-confidence. Ooh.
Very, very deep. This Saxon.
Very deep. You know, Saxon, you should like collect these little nuggets of insight and like write a book. Because I'll tell you what, already you've done a better job at this than this guy has.
A couple of things. Dectran asks, I'm streaming in an hour. Yes, I'm streaming in an hour on my channel. Yeah. And Dark Alile, is it?
Yes.
So 3 bubbles, wouldn't that be a list?
Oh, you know what? You're right. You're right. That is a list. Yeah, more. You're correct. It took me a second. The pepper jacks hit me pretty hard at this point, guys. Excuse me. All right. So on the bingo card, I have word salad, free space, and a list. I'll be very surprised if we hit a bingo on this one, guys. But
yeah,
que sera.
It's not as simple as collecting the skills. There's much more to it than collecting the skills. So think of that thing you are good at. Imagine becoming an expert in it. Yeah? Imagine becoming an expert in it. How do you become? What do you need to do apart from collect skills if you really want to become an expert at something? You got 30 seconds in your little group. Come on, have a little chat about that. What would you
I don't need 30 seconds
before I put it there. Before I complete the formula.
If you say anything other than practice, I'm going to just like get up and walk out of the room, and then walk right back because I have to finish the show. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For it.
What? Self-awareness. Oh, sorry. And I keep forgetting this. Guys, those of you who are listening, like on your way home or something, I should keep describing these things. I always forget to do this. So on his projection right now, he's got a circle for self-confidence with a back and forth arrow going to skills. And now we have a circle for self-awareness. Not practice. Oh, I got to follow through on my promise. 1 second, guys. I'm putting my headphones down. I'm walking out of the room. Coming back. Just give me a second.
You're listening to Scribe Light.
Yeah.
Okay.
TEDXcellence.
Okay. So I did what I said I would do. Self-awareness. Explain self-awareness and not practice, please.
Yeah, I want to know what. Yeah, what?
Yeah, because I mean, it seems so simple.
How many of you got it?
Not me.
Self-awareness.
Yeah.
So at Kissing with Confidence, we have spent our lifetimes teaching this. If you want to become more confident in anything, you collect the skills associated with that thing. And then what you get is feedback.
You see, part of my problem is being too self-aware, self-conscious, not self-confidence.
And then self-critical.
Exactly. And the feedback I get more often than not is from me, and it's usually negative to neutral at best. I mean, I'm aware of if I lack self-confidence, trust me, I am self-aware all the time. I am quite aware of my flaws all the time, because that kind of helps the whole self-confidence thing not really take root. But okay, skills, self-awareness.
Tell the person next to you how much you love feedback. Be honest. Tell the person next to you how much you love instant, fierce, assertive, direct, useful feedback. Be honest. Tell the person next to you. Go on.
Tell this guy.
Tell me how much do you appreciate direct, assertive, brutal feedback?
Well, considering that it's on the internet, usually it's just things like "you're shite." So
yeah,
not particularly very much.
I mean, I guess I appreciate it in that sense, in a way, because especially these days, you have to. I think it's almost a necessity to have built up a thick enough skin to be able to take criticism.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely on. If I ever release any music or anything like that, it's fine when people say, oh, I don't think this bit was mixed very well, or I didn't particularly like the sound of this and stuff like that. That's fine, but that's just, someone's personal opinion. Yeah, if someone just says that's crap, then that's not really.
No, there's nothing there.
It's just I don't like it.
Yeah, and I mean, especially in the time that I've spent now doing this stuff, I appreciate the feedback, because the one thing that I think is useful to everybody is to, especially when you're talking about or going into areas where you're not some kind of well-read expert in, is to admit the possibility ahead of time. You could be wrong. Yeah, you could be wrong about something. You could say something, tell stories out of school or otherwise. And if somebody comes in and says, "Hey, actually, when you said that it was Isaac Asimov who had the 3 laws of robotics, it was actually not Isaac Asimov. It was Isaac Newton." I'm like, no, wait, it was Isaac Newton. Or I don't know what I'm saying right now because I'm half pepper jack. Anyway, I got that reversed. Actually, I tried to make that like intelligent, and I fucked it up. I'm willing to admit it, because it was Isaac Asimov who came with 3 rules of robotics. I meant to say Isaac Newton.
Well, here's your constructive criticism. You would have got it right if you weren't half cut. I'm sure of that.
Oh, because I made that same mistake not that long ago, and I was trying to sort of like after the fact rectify that. I recognize I screwed that up between the 2, Isaac Asimov and Isaac Newton, but I just fucked it up again. See, but I'm willing to admit that I fucked it up, which, truth be told, and I didn't do that intentionally. I actually did fuck it up. But that is not an easy thing for a lot of people to do, as I've noticed, is to, like, if you make a mistake, just admit you made a mistake, and then move on with your life, instead of like fighting back or trying to double down on it or something. Yeah. You have a lot less stressful time if you just admit to yourself, I am fallible and the cops are coming for me right now. Okay, they've gone away.
Police Scotland are coming for you.
Yeah, they've come from overseas because I'm speaking my mind. God forbid.
And butchering garlic. It's fine.
Okay, well, there goes my self-confidence.
Go on. Tell the person next to you.
Yeah.
At least it sounded like they're having a jolly good time, which is more than can be said for most TEDx talks.
Sure, that's true.
Okay, so back to me.
Jesus.
Back to you. Do I have a choice?
You have to do all 3. Too many of us collect a few skills and become a little bit more self-confident, and then we kind of chuck it. So let me tell you a story about a tennis player, about a Scottish tennis player.
Story.
A Scottish tennis player. Are there famous Scottish tennis players?
Andy Murray. Was the best in the world for a bit.
Okay, let's see if he's talking about him.
Andy Murray.
There you go.
Andy Murray.
Only Scottish tennis player I
know. Well, congratulations.
But is that not one of your bingo things? Is a story? Is it?
Well, no. So you've either got a childhood or family anecdote, Or you have an anecdote that probably never happened. So we got to like listen and assess whatever he's about to say to see if that falls
Right.
in.
Okay.
So when Andy Murray is number 4 in the world, he's 25 years old, he's got £10 million in the bank, he's doing all right for himself. His new coach, Ivan Lendl, says, you're never going to win a major, Andy. The 3 guys above you have got second serves that are over 100 miles an hour. Yours is 80 miles an hour. There's the data. Your second serve is number 150 in the world. It is not possible to win a major tournament unless you get your second serve above 100 miles an hour. So come on, this is the easiest question I will ask you. Tell the people you've been working with, now his return of serve was as good as the other 3 guys. His first serve was as good as the other 3 guys. His court coverage was as good as the other 3 guys. You've got 10 seconds. Tell the person next to you, what did Andy Murray have to work on in order to have a chance to win a major and become number 1 in the tennis world? And bear in mind, Andy Murray is playing a sport we don't play in Scotland because it's always raining and there are only 3 red tennis courts. Go for it. What was you having to work on? Tell them in 10 seconds. Tell your colleague.
Steroid injection.
Well, he definitely didn't work on his charisma. That's one thing. I don't know if you've ever heard an interview with Andy Murray.
No.
But he won Wimbledon, which is like, one of the sort of most prestigious tennis tournaments, whatever, in the world. And this is how Andy Murray speaks. He's just like, I'm so incredibly happy. I just can't believe it. I just want to say thanks to my mum and all that. 'Cause, that's how he just mumbles and just, I'm so happy. Honestly, I couldn't be happier right now. Happy as Larry is.
Guy sounds like the brothers from Oasis or something.
But Scottish.
Yeah, but Scottish.
And probably not on drugs.
Probably not. Well, steroids?
I think they get tested.
Lance Armstrong found ways around that.
Yeah, but that's not tennis.
That is true. Okay, so what does Andy Murray have to get better at? That thing, his speed, his strength. So
his self-awareness.
Oh, sorry, not his physical abilities, his self-awareness. Right, you have to be self-aware of how weakling you are, Andy Murray. All right.
So you know this, ladies and gents, yeah?
Oh, God.
You know this.
What?
Andy Murray has to work on his second serve.
Wow, I would never guess.
So it's really interesting. It's really interesting. The confidence formula is a little bit like juggling.
Oh, no. Please tell me you're going to juggle.
He's got props.
Please tell me that you're a clown.
It's a little bit like juggling. And it's interesting because there's some juggling balls out there, and you know if you can juggle or you know if you can't juggle. So if you can juggle, I would like you to come up on the stage, juggle with 3.
Oh, Christ. Really? God, this guy, I credit to the guy. He gives a presentation and has to do as little work as possible. Audience participation, come up and juggle my balls.
See, the depressing thing is that people will go away from this thinking, oh, it was quite good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it was interactive and they didn't just have to sit and listen to someone droning on.
Yeah, when it's just basically sophistry and Hallmark card platitudes.
Yeah.
Man, I can make a career out of this. Why don't I make a career out of this? Probably
because you're not morally bankrupt. That's why.
I was about to say, I have personal integrity, sort of, kind of.
3 balls, I would like you to come up on the stage and have a little juggle with me. Now, I know there are at least 2 of you. Up you come. If you
Touch
can
my
juggle,
balls.
get yourself up on the stage. On you come up, you come. I think that's John. Have we got another one? Have we got another one? I think.
What if there was nobody in the room that could juggle? What does he do then?
I suppose he would just have to juggle.
Yeah.
Assuming that he can. See if he can't juggle, honestly. Though.
Yeah. They have to play with his balls all by himself.
You went there.
I mean, we brought up CBT at the top of this, so why not?
I know.
We've got Nick is
trying so hard not to call it CBT. So I was like, what does it actually stand for?
I have conditioned you to be careful of like the terms because, and for those of you in the audience who have no idea what the other interpretation of CBT is, it's fine. You're better off not knowing.
Yeah,
but I kind of give.
It wasn't actually you. It's actually hanging around and Count Dankula's server too much. That's what did it.
Yeah, the thing is though is that the term CBT, my first exposure to that term came with that definition and not the one used in psychology. That's my problem. Is sort of the origin of discovery. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so he wants some people to come up on stage and play with his balls. Havoc, Vladimir Stolanov, thanks so much. Audience participation, come up and juggle my balls. And that, dear children, is how Scribbles was banned from TED Talks for eternity.
Well, when you come,
Moan.
I hope you get juggling balls as well. Is it Nick, is it? Give him an applause as he comes up.
Are they Scottish too?
Yeah, they're coming up to play the ball.
So these guys can apparently juggle with 3 balls. I'm going to use
But whose?
Oh, Pepperjack, you make everything tolerable.
take 1 ball from you. I'll take 1 ball from you.
What are you,
And I
Hitler?
want Nick and John to juggle with 2 balls. Stop. Now, all
That's not juggling.
That's not juggling. That's just.
Can you? I mean, you could. I guess you can juggle with 2 balls if you're using 1 hand. That takes a little bit of skill.
Yeah. To be fair, I wouldn't be able to do it with 2 hands.
I might be able to swing 2 hands and 3 balls for a minute if I'm not on Pepperjack. Actually, I might do it better with Pepperjack.
Or at least you think you'd do better with Pepperjack.
Exactly, and that's self-confidence in a bottle, isn't it?
of you who can juggle with 2 balls are thinking Nick and John are rubbish at juggling because I can
I can juggle with 2 balls if nobody's looking. Oh, whoops. That came out loud, didn't it? Okay.
juggle like that and I'm really good. And they're kind of doing all this kind of crap. Now, here's
Crap.
what's interesting for me.
It was not Scottish, it's crap!
Yeah, what's that from?
That's Mike Myers, and it's either a skit he did on SNL or it's his character from So I Married an Axe Murderer, where he's playing like the guy's grandpa or something who's Scottish.
All right, yeah.
And it's like he's like you got a huge head. It's like an orange on a toothpick or something.
Because they're so terrible at juggling with 2 balls, I know both of these lads can juggle with 3 because you have to unlearn the 2-ball juggling technique in order to learn to juggle with 3. Now, as soon as they can juggle with 3,
such a third
you're going to
grader.
give them a massive round of applause, but only once they do it. 3, 2, 1, guys, go for it.
What the fuck was that? Okay, I'm glad that I think they turned the volume down on that one because I didn't touch that.
I think they did, yeah.
Holy cow, he did like a Xena Queen of the Jungle sort of scream just there. Sorry, that was Xena Warrior Princess. My brain went to Sheena Queen of the Jungle. Xena, never mind. My brain's having like crossover of things between Isaac Asimov and Isaac Newton and Xena and Sheena. That's just God, I'm full of useless information. Oh, he dropped his ball.
So that's the confidence formula. Thank you very much. Give them another applause, ladies and gents.
That's it? Really? Do they get to keep the balls?
So that's the confidence formula, ladies and gents.
No, it isn't.
Self-confidence comes from collecting skills. It's hard won. But if you just do the 2-1, 2-ball juggler, I collect a few skills. I went on a training program. I went on a leadership program. I learned to do that a little bit.
I went to
And then you give
Yeah, I went to TEDx talk. Yeah.
up, the self-confidence disappears. And actually, one of the reasons we give up is we get that feedback. You're not very good at that.
Uh-huh.
I don't like the way you did that. Feedback can be fierce, but you learn from feedback. And when you get that feedback, when you get that self-awareness, it inspires you to go and collect some more skills.
Or it causes you to go slit your wrists. Oh, sorry. That's a bit dark.
A little bit.
Yeah, sorry. Depends on what kind of feedback we're talking about here. You know, like, I don't know.
You should
If
go
I
and put
could-
your right.
Well, if I could imagine a friend, I wouldn't imagine you. I don't know. That's not sticking with me or not. They've been like ingrained on my soul now. No, it's fine. It's fine. I need to be self-aware, and I'll get out of this pit. I need to cycle my way up.
I
to the
should be
top.
self-aware of what I'm actually saying before I fucking say it. It was like I actually I felt kind of bad earlier on because on this Discord server somebody was like, "Hey, Tailed, what's it like to boom, as in be a boomer?"
Oh,
Right. And
yeah.
this guy's quite portly, shall we say? And I said,
no.
so I just said, what's it like to boom every time you take a fucking step? I felt really, as soon as I said it, I went, "Oh man, that was mean." But
Well, you can always chalk it up to male bonding.
yeah.
I mean, it is toxic, but it can't help.
He actually, he was actually saying, "Okay, that was a good roast." So
you see, but that's the other thing. There is something to be said for tearing somebody down to challenge them to build themselves back up again. Not necessarily completely devastating, but criticism towards seeing if someone is willing to overcome that to improve, or at least move beyond the limitation that you're being criticized for. It's not necessarily an invalid way of approaching other people or forming bonds with other people. Of course, it all depends on the person receiving the criticism and how they handle it, which really has to happen separate from considerations for necessarily impressing the person who's delivering it, but so far as like impressing yourself.
See, the thing that I kind of struggle with is when people just constantly internalize even valid constructive criticism.
Yeah.
And they sort of almost use it as an excuse not to better themselves,
Right.
Especially when they ask you for constructive criticism.
Yeah.
You say, well, it was really good, but you could have done, you maybe think about doing this, or you could have expanded on that or done something, and then they go, oh, I'm just rubbish at it. And actually what they're looking for is kind of sympathy and or just an excuse to
to give up.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. And I can understand that mentality. I've been there myself in a way. Like, I mean, there is some truth to the fear of success. There's this movie. I'm just Mr. Movie today. You ever see the movie The Rainmaker with Matt Damon?
I have not.
Okay, well, very short version. A exceedingly new and green lawyer gets caught up in a major court case that is like light years beyond what his experience should inform towards success, right? And then, spoiler alert, he eventually wins the case through a whole lot of convoluted and interesting events. But then afterwards, he's kind of like, I went to the mountaintop on my first shot. What can I do after this? It's like once you've reached that pinnacle, it's like, where do you go? And so there's like, but especially like if you're starting there, wouldn't you fear being that successful, not knowing where to go next? Like if it came to you that easy, would you have, like, would you believe? And I've had this sensation before. It's like, do I have a false sense of security in my own ability? Am I believing my own press kind of thing? And then again, fighting back against the risks of arrogance or overconfidence. That's kind of like how my psychology, I guess, works, is that I'm always trying to batten myself down because I don't want to be that guy, whatever that guy is. Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And so, I mean, I tell myself it's an internal mechanism to keep myself honest. All right. To not go overboard. But the line between preventing arrogance and actually being self-defeatist is kind of hard to see sometimes. That has been your scribe light note into my psychology again for the day.
Your actual TED Talk.
This has been my actual TED Talk on the back of our almost empty bag friend here on the stage.
He's dead.
Sorry, what?
He's dead inside.
Honestly, in my personal canon, I think this guy has a lot of issues, and I think he is trying to project a sense of reality onto himself that he doesn't actually feel. But I think he takes solace in the notion that he thinks at least he's helping other people. So he can sort of, nail himself up to that cross every night as he cries himself to sleep.
He can justify it to himself.
That's right.
Some more skills. Guess what? you become more self-confident.
Uh-huh.
As you become more self-confident, you accept the feedback better. Are you with me?
Uh-huh.
As you accept the feedback better, you start to crave the skills.
Uh-huh.
You start to look for the skills.
Uh-huh.
You become more self-confident.
Yeah.
As you become more self-confident, eventually you don't just look for them a little bit.
It sounds so simple. Gosh, it's like there's no work at all involved. Golly gee, if only I was more of a self-starter like this guy.
Eventually, you find the best person in the world to give you feedback. You find the expert, and they will give you feedback.
Did you call Gordon Ramsay then about your omelets? Oh, sorry, your what are they called? Frittata?
Frittata.
Frittata.
I would call it an omelette because it's an omelette. I've
All
never
right.
heard the term frittata before. He's obviously a bit more upmarket than me.
I know. I mean, look at that haircut.
I'll mind you.
Yeah.
And they'll say, you're 3 out of 5 just now. You're 4 out of 5 just now. How would you like to be 5 out of 5?
I'm a 10, thank you. I don't go for half measures. My God. Okay, I do. My standards are very low.
I was going to say, what measure have you got in your glass at the moment?
My cup is empty. I needed the solace of the drink to handle this.
Your cup shall overfloweth.
Well, after this, it sure will. Thank you, Mr. Tickletrunk. Scribe, you're good enough. You're smart enough, and doggone it, people like you. Oh boy, are we? We're hearkening back to a TEDx I didn't do that long ago, where it was like, it was basically that same mantra. It's like, you're worthy. You're whatever it was. You're important. It's like, oh God, stop talking down to me, please. Do that enough of myself, I don't need you doing it to me.
Ladies and gents, the confidence formula is about behavior change.
Uh-huh.
So the thing I want to leave you with,
Oh.
I've still got loads of things I want to get better at over the piece. Yeah.
Like not stuttering. Oh, whoops. That was mean. That was mean.
The thing I want to leave you with is
My balls.
It is. He's just grabbed the
Become-
balls.
I don't want to grab my balls.
I'm a 3-ball juggler. In any of these skills you're trying to learn, any of these abilities you're trying to learn,
Yeah.
what it means is looking at your feedback and looking at your self-awareness, being self-aware,
Uh-huh.
and going and collecting those skills, and that feeds in your self-confidence,
Uh-huh.
whether it's public speaking,
Uh-huh.
whether it's networking,
Yeah.
whether it's your studies, or whether it's any individual trait that you want. The bad news is it doesn't come easily.
Uh-huh.
The good news is with time and patience and self-awareness and feedback and collecting those skills, you will become more self-confident. Quite literally, anything. It's really got nothing to do with those 7 tequila slammers. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks very much.
Yeah. All right. So a lot of sort of common sense, platitude, Hallmark card type slogans and notions and things that I've heard basically since I've been alive. Believe in yourself. You can do anything you want if you put your mind to it, et cetera, et cetera. It's like, yeah, they're all great. I actually have to find it within me to do it. But truth be told, at the times in which, mostly it's when necessity is the mother of invention for me. Like if I'm put on a schedule or I'm required to do something, that's when most of my biggest inspiration or creativity kicks in. It's very difficult for me to self-start. Very difficult, like writing or coming up with an idea. That goes back to when I was doing the ads on Lords of the Night for the longest time. It's like I can write stuff. I can come up with interesting wordplay from time to time, like you said. But I need someone to sort of feed me the initiator. All right, like give me a movie trailer about a time traveling monkey who rides around on a magic frying pan or something. Like, okay, I can come up with something like that. Now that you've given me those elements, I can do something. But if I just did come up with something fun, I don't know. That's my problem, I think. What about you?
I'm kind of the same as well because I've got no deadlines or anything at the moment. I've got a couple of ideas for videos for the second channel, and I'm just kind of like, I'll maybe do 10 minutes here and there and start one and not finish it, and then whereas the things like the Megadeth thing that I did, it was specifically for an anniversary of
Right.
an album, so it was
Exactly.
like, right, well, I have to have it done by this day. So
Right. Yeah.
you know,
I had that similar experience a couple of years ago. Weibo and SD were like, we're going to do a Halloween episode of our stream in like a few weeks. Would you write a Halloween story for us? And like I was like, yes. And I knew I had a deadline. I was like, oh God. So I remember walking to work one day. I'm like, I got to come up with a story. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And just like the pressure of knowing I had to get this thing started, had to have it done at a certain point. That's when everything started clicking, and I came up with the idea, ran with it, and it turned out okay. I've actually got it as a spoken word. I read it as a sort of audio novel or short story on my channel. I should bring that up again. It was for Halloween. I can probably repurpose that for this year. But anyway, yeah, it really is for me. Like I need somebody to sort of like pull the cord on the lawnmower, kick it over, kind of.
Well, yeah. And the other thing is actually bouncing ideas off someone.
Yes, that too.
Because the amount of times that I've sat with a parody song idea, or even just I've got some ideas, some vague sort of song ideas for anything. Just sitting down with somebody else and just saying, well, this is what I've got, and then they'll say, well, why don't you try this? Well,
hey, when it comes down to parody songs and stuff, hey, I have some practice with puns. I can help you out. A little practice. Thank you. This is Kyle. This speaker wants to be Zig Ziglar so badly. And if he's got a goal, I don't think he really. That kind of talk is sort of like intellectual cotton candy. It looks like there's something there, but then you actually like digest it, and there's nothing really there. It just kind of disappears. And I suppose if he makes a career out of that, I'm hoping that he does something a bit more in depth elsewise. But here's the other thing: there's a market for it. There's some people out there that just, I guess, it doesn't occur to them, or maybe that is someone's spark plug, right? Maybe that little talk is someone's spark plug to inspire them towards something better for themselves. And in that case, I can't blame them for it. Just to me, it just sounds like a bunch of pablum, just a bunch of like, goody two shoes talk and just filler. Yeah, more or less. But all right, let's take one more look at the bingo card real quick. Make something about race, sex, etc. No, I never did. Marginalize marginalization. No. Mind reading assumes motives. He wasn't very critical about his audience so much. No, not at all. Yeah. Plays victim. No, I never played the victim. Equity. No. Self-vilification or wretchedness. No, I never really put himself down. Attempt to coin new buzzword, buzz phrase. I don't think anything he laid out there was something all his own.
No, there was nothing in there that made me think, oh, I've never heard, that order of words before.
Right. And usually the biggest red flag for that is something I like to call, and then whatever they say after that. That's them trying to like brand it. Feminism, no. He never brought up any childhood or family endo, never talked about himself. Benevolent condescension. I'm sorry. I am going to circle that one just because, like I say, I felt like he was talking down to at least 80% of his audience most of the time. Like, hey, you think about this? Systemic institutional, no. Patriarchy, no. Contradicts own point or argument. He never really
made arguments. He just
like it's one long advice stream, more or less. It's like
pretty much.
Toxic, no. Privilege, no. Weightless example. Never really gave. The only example was that the tennis guy, and I can't say that was weightless to the point, technically.
Just him saying there was one thing that he wasn't as good at as the people that were better than him.
Yeah. Leaves out vital context. He didn't really say much of anything that required context because it was all very just platitude, common sense stuff.
Well, the only thing I'd say about context is he never actually did you didn't give it this name, this self-confidence, a virtuous cycle, did you?
No, that was the title. That's the title of the actual talk.
Yeah, I don't know if he titled it that, but he never mentioned virtuous cycle at all. He alluded to it when he said, you get a bit self-confident or something when you gain the skill, then get the feedback, and then you're more self-confident, so then you gain more skill. He alluded to it, but he never actually mentioned the
see, and the reason I would hesitate on that basis is because I know the people that post the videos on TEDx and TED Talks, they're in control of the titling. And here's the funny thing. I've seen a TEDx talk that I've covered on this series posted months later on TED Talks with a different title. And so having seen that, I can't blame him if the title doesn't match up, because on his card, it never said Virtuous Cycle. Like, his presentation never mentioned Virtuous Cycle. So if his placard or whatever had said that, then, and just for those of you listening at home who aren't used to this is how strict I am with the bingo card. It's very sacred. It's either it counts or it doesn't. Even in an instance where we're obviously not going to get a bingo, I have rules, because this is how we think things through. This is critical thinking. If you didn't know. And I'm talking down to you now, because now I'm the guy in this room. Let's see. Microaggressions and conscious bias. Not really. I mean,
No.
It'd be hard for me to even stretch and say anything abstract was unconscious bias. Takes credit for something done, experienced by others in their demographic. Like I said, if I wanted to be very unfair, I'd say, writing on of Oscar Wilde's quote, but that's not.
Well, he credited him, to be fair.
Yeah, he did credit him. That's true. White supremacy. No, he didn't talk about race at all. Wage gap. No, I mean, he talked about business and boardrooms, but never talked. Yeah. And anecdote that probably never happened. The only anecdote he gave was that tennis guy, and nothing about it sounded completely unreasonable. It wasn't like, my 5-year-old walked in the room and said, "Hey, how can I improve my serve?" or something. It's just like. So unless there are objections elsewise, guys, I think we're going to call it there. Circled on the bingo card for reference. Here, I'll actually display it just so everybody can see real quick before I wrap things up, because Tail does need to get off to his own show. I'm sure he does that too.
Yeah.
Maybe in his private moments or something. Let me save this and then refresh this. Make sure I don't go to the wrong tab. So there we go, guys. Word salad, benevolent condescension, free space, and a list. Not exactly the most bingo-heavy talk, obviously, because it wasn't usual fare, but given the subject matter and the point of origin, it made the most sense to me to look at it with my friend, Tail Feature. And Tail, where are people going to find you in about half an hour?
You could find me at my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/c/tailed-feature.
And you'll be doing what?
Or there's a link in the description.
Yes,
apparently.
there's that too. Yes.
Yeah. So in about 25 minutes, I'll be live doing a news roundup kind of show thing.
Yeah.
Have I sold it?
You don't have a title for it yet?
Well, it's called Regional Variations. It's a weekly live stream.
Yes, with you and several other country folk.
Yeah, just Brit Bongs. I don't know who's on tonight. Yeah, because I see I've got many messages in the Regional Variations guests private message thing. Right. So I don't know what people are saying. So I'm wondering if even if no one turns up, I'll just do it myself.
All right. Well, I hope some of you in the chat will make sure that even if he's broadcasting alone, he's not alone in the broadcast. So go take a look at Tail's channel on there. Also, be sure to check out Scottish Feature, his channel where he does all types of things from Scottish history to his musical endeavors and so on. And please share out his Megadeth cover. It's the latest video on Scottish Feature. And if you are so inclined, if you have the self-awareness to do so, you might also tag Dave Mustaine in there, lead singer of Megadeth, on the off chance that he notices and sends out a compliment or something, which would be great for Tail's self-confidence.
It would be.
It would be.
But I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah, well, don't hold your breath. Don't do that. You got plenty of haggis to eat. But with that, guys, I'm going to call it here. Thank you guys so much for joining us today for this little diversion from the usual fare into something that's supposedly self-help. But I think simply in talking about ourselves and the humor that was had, I think we all helped ourselves in a way, if I have to sound like some kind of condescending speech giver. Did it work? Do I have a career in this yet?
I feel more confident already.
Oh, everyone, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for your participation. Those of you who donated, thank you. Thank you so much for your generosity. I really do appreciate it. If you would like to hear more from me or Satsu 2 Cents or the Ranting Monkey, you can find all three of us tonight on the Ranting Monkeys channel at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern for The Lords of the Night, where we'll talk about the news of the day, news stories that you submit to us, what we've been up to on the internet, and then your questions and comments. Tailed Feature, my friend, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Everyone, I hope you're all safe and well. If you're not well, please get well soon. If you're not safe, find shelter, maybe, in self-confidence.
And self-awareness.
I got nothing.
You're probably very self-aware if you're...
I don't have the skills necessary to end the show cleanly. So bye, everybody.
Aikiva.
Aikiva.